Conflict in the Middle East has blocked a critical global choke point, trapping a third of the world's fertilizer ingredients from moving through the Strait of Hormuz. That single maritime bottleneck translates to an immediate global consequence. Supply chain disruptions and fertilizer shortages are putting an extra 45 million people at risk of acute hunger this year. The impact hits the domestic economy just as hard. Last year, farm bankruptcies spiked 46%, and beef prices are hitting record highs because running farm equipment on diesel and securing fertilizer costs significantly more right now. Today, we are going to build a supply chain disruption action plan using frameworks from MIT Sloan. By the end of this video, you will have a clear strategy to protect your business from the next geopolitical shock. Before we start step 1, grab a pen. Identify and write down the 3 most critical operational components or raw materials your business needs to function. Building functional supply options during an active crisis is mathematically impossible. True survival requires proactive preparation long before the supply lines actually snap. Step 1 of the framework is monitor. We have to identify real-time geopolitical threats well beyond your immediate Tier 1 suppliers. This dashboard aggregates global risk data to show what horizon scanning looks like in practice. We can spot critical threat levels, like a war conflict index of 100 intersecting with elevated food stress, days or weeks before they hit mainstream news. Identifying a risk is only the first part of the equation. Now we transition to the model phase. You must map out exactly how that specific macro event cascades down into your local operations. Look at this flowchart mapping the current crisis. A war index hitting 100 maps directly to a delay in fertilizer shipments. That delay then branches out, driving up the cost of diesel fuel and increasing overall food transport costs. If your leadership team cannot instantly draw a causal line between a global flashpoint and your local inventory shortages, your business is exposed. Step 2 is creating options. You start by implementing immediate process buffers to protect your existing inventory from sudden supply and demand shocks. The first defensive strategy is a directed buy agreement. This legal clause requires your suppliers to keep a specific volume of components physically on hand at all times. The second immediate strategy is transitioning to a customer-managed inventory model. This removes blind spots and gives you direct control over your stock levels, rather than relying on a vendor's estimates. Do not rely on lean, just-in-time inventory models during periods of elevated global geopolitical stress. When a crisis hits, those warehouses empty out almost instantly. Process buffers do not solve the root cause of a global disruption. They buy you the exact amount of critical time necessary to execute long-term alternatives. Now we transition to the long-term structural phase of creating options. Relying on a single geographic node for your raw materials is a single point of failure. A traditional linear supply chain breaks the moment one link fails. You want to restructure into a diversified, branching network of options. Your first structural option is to develop strategic sourcing partnerships in completely different, lower-risk geographic regions. Your second, more aggressive structural option is shifting toward vertical integration. This means bringing production in-house to gain absolute internal control over your most critical components. Acquiring hard assets and building international supplier relationships takes a year or more. You have to draft these plans proactively. You have achieved true optionality only when your core production is no longer dependent on a single geographic location. The final step of the framework is execute. This separates a theoretical plan from a functional survival mechanism. First, establish a trigger point. A trigger is a specific, predetermined metric that automatically shifts your company out of standard operations. When that trigger is hit, your immediate tactical response is to seamlessly draw down on the physical buffered inventory we established in Step 2. Simultaneously, you initiate your strategic response. You instantly activate the secondary geographic relationships established in Step 3 to ramp up alternative production while your buffer sustains you. Having pre-planned execution triggers prevents executive panic. It replaces chaotic reactive decisions with cold, calculated deployment. Review your completed disruption action plan. You have mapped your horizon risks, mandated supplier buffers, designed regional alternatives, and set your execution triggers. Compare this prepared, structured posture with the chaotic reality of your competitors, who will inevitably be caught flat-footed by the next geopolitical shock. Building a portfolio of options allows you to dictate your own response, rather than becoming a victim of global geopolitics. Take this drafted plan to your operations team tomorrow, stress test it against your single highest volume product, and subscribe to the channel for more advanced operational frameworks.